Alright, we'll see how this goes here in this first test video for JC Sports Replays. We're going to have a game between the Chicago Cubs and the Florida Marlins in 1997. This is the third game of a season replay, and I decided I'd like to put a couple of videos up on YouTube just to see how it goes. Have not even sorted the lineups for these two teams yet. I sort them as I go when I start a season, so you get to see me break out the cards a little bit before we actually start playing. And get these starting lineups set. We're playing Super Advanced on the card table here that has seen many a game. These guys have a lot of left fielders, the Cubs do. There's a Mark Grace card. The way I like to sort is by position first. Get the starters set for both teams so that I can construct a lineup based on lefty-righty and who's pitching. So, that being said, I need to take a moment before I set the Cubs lineups to get the starters for Florida sorted so I know who's starting game one. Play a variety of games. Stratomatic is my long-time go-to. I play an awful lot of basic, but for this replay I've decided to revisit Super Advanced, which I haven't done in a good long time. We'll see how this test video goes. I don't have an ideal setup in a small tiny home that my wife and I live in. It's a nice cozy place. So the card table is my solution to not having a permanent sports tabletop area, while Babe sits over here on the couch with our pups and indulges in Power Washing Simulator on the PlayStation. It's her latest addiction, so it's a nice quiet holiday for both of us. So I figured it was a good day to record the first video for this channel, which I've been wanting to do since the new year, or before the new year. They've got me this handy-dandy camera recording arm, so to speak, that stretches out over the card table. And we'll see what we got here. Alright, so looking at Florida, we've got a quick sort here. And without breaking too much down for them just yet, looks like Kevin Brown is going to be the starter for the Marlins. So he'll be a right-hander, obviously. And for the Cubs, it'll be Terry Mulholland. Nope, it will not be. I didn't order them yet, sorry. Looks like Frank Castillo has possibly the most starts. Nope, I'm wrong. Here's Steve Trachsel. Tapani. Yep, so it's going to be Trachsel for the Cubs. So two right-handers on the mound for these two teams today. I did move the teams, move the players to the teams they started the season with. We will not be doing as played, but we will be doing trades throughout the season. It's just how I like to play it. I like to set my own lineups. All right, so our 5 starters for the Cubs to start the season anyway are Steve Trachsel, Frank Castillo, Terry Mulholland, Kevin Foster, and Jeremy Gonzalez. Right, so there's our 5 starters. We'll check the bullpen here. And again, I just kind of order these by inning, and I take the top 5 or 6, depending on the team and the depth. I tend to put the closer on top of the stack so that I don't use him in non-closer situations or non-clutch situations. So if we pick the first 5 guys, we've got Mel Rojas, Ken Bottenfield, Terry Adams, Kirk Wendell, Bob Patterson, and actually we're going to go 6 deep because they've got Ramon Tatis is the 6th guy. He's got 56 innings pitched. So that's 11 guys of our 25-man roster. The guys who are not making it and will be in the minors for starting the season are Mark Pisciata and Larry Cashin. So they'll go to the back of the stack here face down. So we've got 11 pitchers. It leaves us 14 position players. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're actually one short. So we can add a pitcher back. So we'll take the next reliever. That'll be Mark Pisciata, making the surprise opening day roster. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot entire stacks of people here. That's what happens when you're on camera and your normal setup procedure is slightly off. Also not making the opening day roster are Kevin Tapani, who had a pretty good year, but he only had 13 starts, Miguel Batista, and Amori Tamako, who had a terrible year. These guys will also go face down on the bottom. So, back to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So we got 28 guys on the roster, so we need to drop 3 of the position players to get us to 25. We got 3 catchers here, so Scott Cervais and Tyler Houston will go. Mike Hubbard is in the minors. That's 1. Mark Grace at first. Sandberg and Ray Sanchez. Sanchez probably making the team. Kevin Ory, Jose Hernandez, and Dave Hansen. One of those guys is probably going to drop. Actually, we've got 2 Ray Sanchez cards here. So this Sanchez card is his New York card. That will go. And for Chicago, got Sanchez and Dunston. So we need to drop 1 more, I believe, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15. Yep, but we could have 14. So it's going to be one of these left fielders, obviously. There's Doug Glanville, Dave Clark, Grant Brown will all make the team. Brooks Kieschnick is going to go to the minors. So we've got the opening day roster set. Now we got to set the starting lineup, and we've got Kevin Brown as a right-hander. So let's see if there's any platoon opportunities. Our choices at catcher are Scott Cervais and Tyler Houston. Cervais is a much better catcher. But Houston batted a lot more against righties. But we're going to give Cervais, being that it's opening day, we're going to give Scott Cervais the opening day. Houston will be on the bench. Mark Grace, full-time first baseman. Sandberg, full-time second baseman, barring injury, which looks like he will probably miss some time. Let's see, we got Kevin Ory here, Jose Hernandez, and Dave Hansen. Hansen pretty damn good against right-handed pitching. Although Ory's a much better defender. We're going to go with Ory for opening day. Tend to go with the guys who played the most on opening day, despite... especially against right-handers. If it was a lefty, I might be a little more orchestrated. We got Sanchez and Dunston here. That's a tough one. I'm going to go defense and put Sanchez in, especially being that he's going to eventually get traded to the Yankees. Dunston, he might play left. Well, maybe not. We got Glanville. So Dunston will be off the bench for day 1. Doug Glanville. We're playing left. Brian McRae in center and Sammy Sosa on right. So that's our bench over there. And now we got to figure out a lineup. So obviously we want Sosa somewhere in the middle of the order. Who's our leadoff guy going to be? McRae's possible. I like a higher on base percentage than that. Grace has a ridiculous on base percentage of 409. Looks like, yeah, we're probably going to lead off with... I think we're going to go Glanville, followed by McRae. We're going super advanced here, so we got to flip them. So they're going to be face down. So Glanville's first, McRae's second, Grace will be third. Sosa's probably going to bat fourth. Sosa will bat fourth. And then the lineup really starts to thin out. Kevin Ory will bat fifth. Sandberg 6th. Scott Cervais will bat 7th, and Ray Sanchez will bat 8th. So that's our starting lineup, along with Steve Trachsel, as we said. And Trachsel's a 1 batter as a pitcher, so we'll put the number 1 behind Sanchez. And that's our starting lineup for the Cubbies. Put these guys over here. Tie these off, because this is our starter slash minor stack, so we won't be using those during the game. This is our relief stack. I like to put them right on top of the starters there, and then Tyler Houston will lead off the bench stack. And for now, we're just going to put the Cubbies over here. We see what's going on with the Marlins. So we got Kevin Brown starting, as we already mentioned. Let's see what we got for relievers here. We got Helly, Powell, Heredia, 57 innings pitched, 62 innings from Dennis Cook, and here's Rob Nen with his 35 saves. Bobby Stanifer. So we got 11 pitchers again, so we're going to be looking for 14 position players. I don't often see videos where people show you the lineup setting. I thought it would be just fun as a first test video to go all out and show you how I actually set up the squad, especially for the first game of the season. You can kind of get an idea of the process that I like to use and see if it's similar to yours. I have no idea if this audio is going to be any good, or video, but what the hell? Got to start somewhere, right? So we have room for 14 position players on the opening day roster. We got 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we're going to have to drop one guy, and you can bet it's going to be a left fielder, because they got 5 of those. So why don't we actually start there? And my methodology is pretty simple. I just dropped the guy with the fewest at bats. This is the Florida team that won the World Series this year. But Billy McMillan, he's going to go to the bench. And he's the only minor leaguer, so to speak. So we can wrap up our starting minor stack right there. Kevin Brown on top of the relievers. And who's going to be starting today on opening day? At catcher is going to be Charles Johnson. Greg Zone will be on the bench. Conine, probably close to a full-time first base, although it looks like they did some wild platooning here. We've also got Cliff Floyd and Jim Eisenreich, who are primarily left fielders, but could end up. Looks like you got a platoon situation between Abbott and Castillo. I'm going to once again go for the defense and start Castillo. Bobby Bonilla also plays some first base, but he's going to play third today. Here's Edgar Renteria. We got Sheffield in right, and probably White in center. Let's see what our options are here. Cliff Floyd, not too many at-bats. Alou, going to start in left. Let's see if we want Eisenreich or anybody over Conine. So Conine, 26% against the lefties, 70% against the righties, and he batted pretty well against both. Eisenreich is a lefty option, but being it's opening day, we're going to go with the primary guys and go from there. So, all right. Now we got to pick our lineup out. Renteria would be a decent leadoff. Conine would be a good second. Actually, Devon White. Let's go White leading off. Sheffield's got a monster card. So should we stack this lineup heavily in the middle or heavily toward the top? I think we can afford to stack it pretty well toward the top here. So we got Alou, who's got a monster card. Sheffield's got a monster card. Bonilla's got a monster card. We're actually going to go Sheffield batting second with that 424 on base percentage. We will bat Bonilla third, I think. Yep. And Alou fourth. He will be followed by Charles Johnson. And then Jeff Conine. Then Renteria. and Castillo. So Renteria down to the order, despite, I think, being the real-life leadoff man. Personal choice there. I don't think you can screw this Florida lineup up too much, so that's your starting lineup, along with Kevin Brown. Now let's see how we can set this up for maximum viewing. Well, first we got to get these guys on the score sheet, so let me see briefly what my play area is, part of the moving table. We could probably zoom this out a bit. There you go. That's a bit better. Let me see if that's lining up. We could actually zoom it out a little bit more. Maybe I can lift this up. Hey! And there was an earthquake at the stadium today. Gotta get this a little bit better in the grip there. And nope, now it's backwards, so now you're looking at my ceiling. That's pretty good. You can actually see everything pretty well there. Let's go with that setup. Let's get these guys on the field. So this is April 1st, 1997, and you got the Cubs and the Marlins. I use the abbreviations just because it's less to write and jives with my schedule that I pulled off retro sheet. So, all right. So, as we said, we got Doug Glanville leading off for Chicago. He's a left field -1 E4. And Brian McGray playing center. Center field 2 E5, no arm, or neutral arm, I should say. Then we got Mark Grace, Gold Glove quality first baseman with a first base 1 E7. This would be a better video live, but I don't have 50 subscribers, so I can't go live. Batting cleanup, right field 2 -4 E8, Slam and Sammy. Third base, 2E14, Kevin Ory. At second base, Ryan Sandberg. Behind the plate, catching Scott Survey. He's a catcher 3-0, E1, T7, P3. Shortstop E29-2, Ray Sanchez. Batting eighth, and then the pitcher. Starting pitcher 2E14, Trachsel. And I don't write all the pitching stats out because the pitcher card is always visible. The only thing I do want to know is what his POW winning is, which is 6. Right? So Cubbies are set. Here's the Marlins. Leading off in center field 2 with a 0 arm, and E5, Devon White. In right field 4 with a -1 arm. He's an E6, Gary Sheffield. Third base 3, E25, Bobby Bonilla. Still being paid by the Mets every July. Left field 2, -1, E3, Moises Alou of the great baseball family. One of the best catchers of the 90s. Behind the plate, catcher 1, -4, great arm, E0T0P0. That guy does not make any errors. That's crazy. I know you can have a -5 arm, but you challenged to find a better card behind the plate defensively than Charles Johnson. And he's got some power. He's actually one of my favorite catchers back in the 90s. Playing first, we got first base 2, E12, Jeff Conine. At shortstop 1, E19, Edgar Renteria, Gold Glove caliber there. E might be a little high, but probably not for the 90s, especially considering the number of balls he'll get to. Second base 2, E23, Luis Castillo. And we need a pitching card for Brown. He is a #1 batting pitcher also. So batting ninth, starting pitcher 2E6 with a 7 POW, Kevin Brown. All right. The lineups are set. I'm just going to do a visual check here and grab a water because I forgot to have anything to drink when I'm doing all this talking. That's very, very intelligent. I think I've never done this before. I have an old YouTube channel where I only played Strat. This is a new YouTube channel where I plan on playing a variety of games because I've been exposed to a variety of games lately. But Strat Baseball Replays is my old YouTube channel that I haven't put anything up on in probably 4 or 5 years. Yeah, I'm a little out of practice. So let me grab a water. You're going to see the table move. I'll be right back. Also incredibly warm. We have heat up, and I got a nice warm sweatshirt on, and my winter beard. All right, a little swig of water here. Looks like you got a good view of the table and my seat. Yeah, that's solid. You could have it a little straighter, a little flatter out. I don't want to lose the dice there. Oh, now I lost the dice, so I'll zoom out more. Nope, we're zoomed out as far as we can get. So how can we get the dice in here? If we don't roll in the dice roller, we'll be fine. How about that? Then we can just go this way. You can really keep an eye on the action. All right. Thanks for your patience, ladies and gentlemen, as I recorded my first YouTube video in many years. But I really enjoyed the resurgence. Resurgence? I guess surgence. There wasn't a re. It's actually just been a growth thing. I love the tabletop sports community on YouTube now. I just wanted to get myself back involved with it. Like I said, I had a pretty good start 5 years ago with the old channel. And then, due to life issues, kind of tailed off. But here we are back. A little congested today. These crazy winter weather, but it is opening day, April 1st. Oh, that's what we need to do. So I play a lot of basic, so I'm a little out of practice, but we got to figure out the weather here in Florida. You would think it's probably pretty good. Is this a day game or a night game? That's a good question. So it's not day baseball. What the hell? It's opening day. I like day baseball on opening day, so we got to figure out our ballpark effects. So being that it's April 1st in Florida, we're going to roll that 20. How about a 14? That's actually going to be average weather. So singles are 6-6 and home runs are 2-6. So not a hitter's park. All right. So we have opening day here. Kevin Brown on the mound, as I said. A brief view of Brown's 97 card. He went 16 and 8, 2.69 ERA in 33 starts, 214 hits in 237 innings, just 66 walks, so a whip a little over 1, and 205 strikeouts. Only 10 homers allowed in a power-rich era, so pretty damn good card for Brown. Right, and he's going to be facing Doug Glanville to lead off the game. Without further ado, one more sip of water. The umpire says, play ball! Glanville batting righty. Playing left field. Quick view at Glanville's card. 300 hitter in 97 and 474 at-bats. 4 homers, 35 RBIs, 19 steals. So, solid card for Glanville with that defensive one that he begged Hal Richmond for. And the first pitch from Brown. It's going to be a 1-6 against the righty. Brown, that is a line out to shortstop, no problem for Renteria. That's a quick 1 out. Here's Brian McRae, center fielder, batting second with 1 out. 242 average, 11 homers and 43 RBIs in full-time play. Almost as many walks as strikeouts, and 17 steals but 10 caught stealing. So McRae, solid season for this Cubs team. Brown with the pitch. That is a 4-7. McRae batting left. That's going to be a single 1-19 or a grounder to first. McRae lines one into right field past the first baseman. Sheffield scoops it up, fires it to second. McRae is on base. All right, so now we got to look at the hold, see if we're holding McRae. So Brown is a +3 hold, and Johnson's a -4, so that's going to help Brown a lot. That makes it a -1 overall. And then if we add the hold, it's -3, which would mean McRae's best chance of stealing is a 12. And as is going to be normal against Charles Johnson, you're not going to see a lot of guys try. So McRae's being held, not going to attempt right now. And Mark Grace comes to bat. The men on first and 1 out. Grace in 1997, a good card, 319 average, 32 doubles, 13 homers, 78 RBIs, 88 walks and just 45 strikeouts for a 409 on base percentage. Very, very strong card, and a 1 defensively. So Mark Grace, a hell of a year in 97. McRae's on first. Brown with the pitch to Grace. The 20 doesn't come into play at a 10, so a 1-5 against a righty. And that's triple 1-5, double 6-20. Just misses the double. Just misses the triple. So that's going to be a double. White fields it, throws it in. McRae to third, where he will hold, and Grace into second with a stand-up double. Second and third, just 1 out. And slamming Sammy Sosa coming up. It is not 1998. It's not a 60-homer year, but it's still an impressive campaign in 97 for Sosa. 251 average, 642 at-bats, 31 doubles, 36 homers, 119 RBIs. He did strike out 174 times. Sammy's a free swinger. He's also got 22 steals in there. Forget about his speed back then. He's an A stealer. So, good cleanup guy here for the Cubs. And Brown to deliver. Righty-on-righty action here. That is a 5-7 against a right-hander. And Sosa down on strikes. Brown blows it by him for the second out. It's a big strikeout for Kevin Brown in a dangerous situation. Pardon me. So with 2 outs, runners on second and third, it'll be Kevin Ory coming up, playing third. 275, 8 homers, 44 ribbies, 23 doubles, so good power. Good gap power in 364 at-bats. 350 on base with a 431 slugging for Ory, who's a pretty forgotten player. I'd forgotten all about him. I knew the name, couldn't picture him, couldn't tell you what he looks like. But he's playing third today, and he's got a chance to get Chicago on the board early. Brown's got to bear down here against the right-handed Ory. Brown with the pitch. That's a 2-6 against a righty. That's a fly ball out toward right. Looks like it'll be routine. Sheffield settles under it and makes the play. So, Chicago leaves 2 in the first. And we'll go to the bottom of the inning, where Steve Trachsel will take the mound and face White, Sheffield, and Bonilla. Dave is falling asleep playing power washing while still power washing. It's really fun to watch. I'm not going to move the camera, but it's pretty funny because she falls asleep with her finger on the PlayStation trigger, so the power washer keeps going while she sleeps. She's now woken up to my noticing her, but in any case, a little intermission there between innings, or between half innings, and it's going to be Trachsel on the mound for Chicago. In 1997, he was 8-12, a 4.51 ERA, 34 starts, 225 hits in 201 innings, so more hits than innings, never good. 69 walks, 160 strikeouts, and he gives up the long ball, 32 homers in 34 starts. So he's a right-hander. He'll be facing Devon White to lead this game off. And White, quick look at his stats. I don't know if he was injured or platooned, but 265 at bats, 6 homers, 34 RBIs with a 245 average, 13 steals. Pedestrian card for White, but a decent leadoff guy for a good Florida team. We don't need to roll the 20 with nobody on base. The Trachsel's ready. White is in the box, and here's the pitch. It's a 2-7, and very quickly, Trachsel gets White on the curveball for the first out of the inning. One of the monster cards of 1997, Gary Sheffield. Probably should be in the hall, Gary. A 250 average and 444 at-bats, but don't be deceived, he had 121 walks, so he played full-time. 22 doubles, 21 homers, 71 RBIs, 79 strikeouts compared to those 121 walks, a 424 on base. His slugging could be higher, but that's a really, really solid season and a great number 2 hitter, as far as I'm concerned, for the Marlins here. Trachsel with the pitch, and Sheffield, 6-11. That's a ballpark single. Sheffield's a right-hander, so it's going to be 1-6 as a single, and it is. It gets through. Up the middle for a base hit for Sheffield. And Gary's got a little bit of speed, so we got to check the holds here. Trachsel's a +1, and Surveyor's a 0, so -1 chance for Sheffield makes him a 1-14. So you know what? Sheffield's going to try to get a lead here. Gets a lead on the 6 or 7. He's caught on a 12. Neither of those things will happen, so Sheffield cannot get a good lead. And with only a 9-second steal chance, he'll stay closer to the bag. And we'll hope Bonilla can do the job to move him over. Speaking of Bobby Bonilla, 297, 39 doubles, 17 homers, 96 runs batted in, 73 walks. Very solid season for Bonilla. An OPS over 800. And it looks like Trachsel is ready with Sheffield on first and 1 down. The pitch to Bonilla. It's a 4-5. Bonilla batting left. Trachsel with the strikeout. That curveball is working early. Second strikeout of the inning. And that'll bring up Moises Alou. So Alou doesn't want to come off the pile here. 292, 29 homers, 29 doubles, 23 homers, 115 runs batted in, 70 walks and 85 strikeouts. He did steal 9 bases. Very, very solid season. 373 on base, 493 slugging for Alou. And a solid left fielder. With 2 outs and Sheffield on first, Trachsel ready. Oh, we've got a 2 on the 20, which means, was it balk or pass ball? So the 5 on the white die means pass ball is possible. And Survey's pass ball number is a 3. So if we roll a 1 to 3, it's pass ball. Nope. No pass ball, so the at-bat continues. Here's Alou, waiting for the pitch. 2-4 from Trachsel. That's a grounder back to Trachsel. He picks it and fires over to Grace at first to retire the side. So the Marlins leave 1, and it's still tied 0 after 1 inning. Leading off against Brown in the second for the Cubs, Ryan Sandberg, 264, 26 doubles, 12 homers, 64 ribbies. Only 28 walks versus 94 strikeouts. So not a great on base for Sandberg, only 308. But he's ready to receive the pitch from Brown. Here it is. It's a 3-4. He pops this one up on the infield. Castillo calls everybody off and makes the play for the first out. I'll bring up the catcher, Scott Cervais. 260, 21 doubles, 6 homers, 45 ribbies, and 385 at-bats. Slashing 260, 311, 361. The pitch from Brown, 2-8. He pops it up on the infield as well. Left side, Renteria makes the call and the catch. And there's 2 quick outs for Brown. I'll bring up the shortstop, Ray Sanchez. 249, 1 homer, 12 RBIs. He's in there for his glove. And he'll wait for the pitch from the very dominant right-handed Brown. It's a 6-6 to Sanchez. And there's the domination. Blows him away with a fastball. A 1-2-3 inning for Brown. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Brown with his second strikeout of the day. In the bottom half of the inning, Florida, it'll be Charles Johnson leading off. 250, 26 doubles, 19 homers, 63 runs batted in. That's really solid production. Slashing 250, 347, 454 to go with that perfect catcher. The only thing he's missing is a -5 or -6 arm, but no errors, no throwing errors, no pass balls allowed by Johnson in 97. He'll wait for the pitch from Trachsel, who's got the curveball working. It's a 5-7 right-hander. Ground ball, second base X, our first X chance of the day. Sandberg is a 2E12, and we've got a 17-7. So 17 on the 2 is a G1, and 7 on the 12 is no error, so that will be a grounder to Sandberg, no problem. Scoops and fires to Grace. 1 away. Coming up, first baseman Jeff Conine, 242, 13 doubles, 17 homers, 61 runs batted in. He's not stretching a lot of hits there. 337, 405 for the on-base and slugging, respectively. Conine, a very, very solid player. Always seemed to find himself on winning teams, if I remember correctly. Trachsel ready. The pitch. That's a 2-9 against the right-hander. Grounder down to third. Handled there by Ori, and he fires over to Grace for the second out. If you're wondering what I'm writing here, if it's difficult to see, it's just, simple scoring. 1B for single, 2B for double, etc. Ks for strikeouts, and otherwise the numerical scoring for the outs. So that was a 5-3. And with 2 down, it's going to be Edgar Renteria, the shortstop. 277, 21 doubles, 4 homers, 52 runs batted in, 32 stolen bases against 15 steals, which is an acceptable ratio, just about. Right around 67%. Right? Yeah. Doing bad math in my head, but what the hell. So here we go with Renteria. Trachsel delivers. How about a 4-4 right-hander? Grounder to third base X. Ori's a 2E14. So we got a 10-11. 10 on the 2 is a G1. 14. 11 on a 14 is nothing. So no error. Ori picks it and fires to Grace to end the inning. So both pitchers, 1, 2, 3 in the second. We'll head to the third. No score. Trachsel, the pitcher, leading off. Not a good hitting pitcher against Brown. He's just going to try not to get hurt. But a 4-6 Trachsel batting right-handed. Well, he's going to get a base hit. Manages to squeak one over the shortstop's head for a base hit. And Trachsel on first. Just want to check the roster sheet. I doubt it, but do either Trachsel or Brown. So Brown's a 1-13 running, and Trachsel unaltered. So Trachsel not a stealing threat. They will not hold him. And here's Glanville. Pretty good bunter. But especially against Brown, might be worth it to get a runner in scoring position. But he also tears up righty pitching pretty well, so we're going to let him hit away. Brown delivers a 3-10. It's a ground ball first base B. So Conan's going to scoop it. He fires to Renteria at short to retire Trachsel. There's no throw to first, and Glanville's on. Glanville will be held again, but we know his stealing chance at 12. Not great. And Brian McRae coming up. He's 1 for 1 on the day. Brown, ready? How about a 2-4 against the right-hander? That is a single. Clutch doesn't matter here. So base hit to center. White scoops it up. Line ball 1-14 running. He was being held, so it's a 1-13. He's not going to try for third. Well, actually, you know what? He is going to try for third. And a 15 means he is gunned down by the center fielder. So an 8-5. McRae moves up to second. Could have cut that one off. Elected to let them throw for him early in the game here. Keep that runner off third with less than 2 outs, and they do that. So McRae on second after the single advances on the throw. 2 outs now for Mark Grace. Grace doubled the first time up, 1 for 1 on the day. Brown ready. 1-6. And that's going to be a base hit. Double 1-2, single 3-20. It's a 6, so it is a single, but 2 asterisks. McRae comes around to score easily. And Mark Grace has put the Cubbies on the board, 1-0 Chicago with 2 outs here. And Grace, not really a stealing threat. With 2 outs, they're not even going to hold him. I'm going to concentrate on Sosa. Sosa waits for the pitch from Brown. It is a 4-6 against the right-hander. That's going to be another base hit. Double 1-2, single 3-20 again. This one's another base hit for Sosa. Grace around to third as the throw comes into second from right field. And we have first and third with 2 outs for Kevin Orie. Orie 0 for 1, flew out to right his first time up. Brown on the mound, takes a deep breath from the stretch. The delivery is a 5-2. That's a ground ball, second base X. Castillo a 2, E23. How about a 4-10? 4 on the 2 is a G3. Anybody being held? No. And what did we say? 10 on an E23. Sorry. Nope. So no problem. Castillo scoops it. And flips to Conine at first to retire the side. But the Cubbies pick up 1, leave 2, and they lead 1-0 after 2.5. Castillo, Brown, and White due up in the bottom of the third. Castillo taking his first at bat of the season to lead off the third against Trachsel. 240 batting average, no homers, 8 RBIs, only a .310 on base percentage. He's in there for his glove, obviously. And Trachsel with the pitch. 4-8. Castillo batting left, lays off for a base on balls. Castillo with 15. That becomes a 12. If I'm doing my... Oh, actually that becomes a... Is that a +1, 0, so -1? It becomes a 14. So Castillo's actually going to see if he can get in scoring position here. A 10 is good for a good lead. 2-10 or a 12. He gets a good lead a lot. So Castillo's stealing. 1-14. He's safe. 12. So he beats the throw from Cervais. Got a good jump there. 1 ball, no strikes. And now with Brown up. Brown is a C bunter. They will play the corners in, which will make him a D. But still probably the way to go. Let's see if I remember how this works. Alright, so Brown showing bunt. The 1 means it's going to be a bunt. Back to the pitcher, I believe. A little out of practice here. Yep, so it's bunt back to the pitcher. The 2 on the D is going to be speed. Batter lays down a great bunt and he has a chance to beat out a single. Roll the 20-sided. If it falls into his running range, scored a single. Runners advance. Otherwise, it's a sack. So Brown's running, as we said before, a little bit better than average for a pitcher. He's a 1-13, so he might beat this out. He does not. So instead, he's got a sacrifice hit. Trachsel over to Grace. Castillo to third. Castillo to third with just one out. Now Devon White coming up. He's not a good bunter. They play the corners in this early against a speedy Castillo. Yeah, I think they will. So the corners will be in. Trachsel ready to deliver to White. White struck out his first time up. Trachsel with the pitch. That's a 1-12 against the right-hander. Line out to first base. And oh, Castillo was leading. That is going to be a 3-5 double play to end the inning. He lined it right to Grace, who was very conscious, standing right on the bag, and whipped a throw over to the third baseman, Ori, to double off Castillo. And the walk, the stolen base, and the beautiful bunt are wasted. There's only 3 batters come to the plate. Nobody left on. We go to the 4th. Chicago leads the Marlins 1-0 here in Florida. So top of the 4th inning, it's going to be Sandberg, Cerveza, Sanchez. Triple S's. Here's Sandberg, 0 for 1 on the day. Waits for Brown. 5-8. Right-hander is second base X again. 2-23 for Castillo means we have a 5-15. G3. G3 nothing. So Castillo scoops up here. Fires to Conine. And Sandberg is retired, 1 down. Here's Scott Cerveza, 0 for 1. Brown pitches, 1-7. That's going to be a base hit up the middle. Nice piece of hitting by Cerveza. Not a threat to steal, a 3. Ray Sanchez coming up. That's the only place we might want to switch is with Cerveza decent runner. We might want to put Cerveza 9th, so we have Sanchez's speed in front of him. But in any case, Cerveza on first, Sanchez to bat. Struck out his first time up. Brown with the pitch. How about a 3-4? That's a foul ball behind the plate. Johnson over by the dugout, makes the catch, no problem. There's 2 away. So here's Trachsel. He singled his first time up. 1 for 1 on the season so far. Brown with the pitch to Trachsel. 6-8. It's a right-hander batter, and Brown likes that outcome a lot better. Strikes him out. Chicago, nothing doing here in the 4th. 1 left. We go to the bottom half. The Marlins will have Sheffield, Bonilla, and Alou coming up. Gary. The real straw that stirs the drink here in the 90s for the Marlins. Singled his first time up. He's 1 for 1. Trachsel ready here in the bottom of the 4th. The pitch is a 1-8. And that hits Sheffield. Sheffield known to crowd the plate. So Gary's on. And he's going to try to get a lead. 6 or 7 for a good lead. Oh, 8th again. So Sheffield, no good lead. And she's going to stay right there. And here's Bonilla. Bonilla struck out his first time up. Sheffield perched on first, taking an average lead. And wait, we got a 1 on the die. Could be a wild pitch by Trachsel. 1-3. Oh, a 12, so no wild pitch. Bonilla ready for the Trachsel delivery. 3-4. Uh-oh. Bonilla hits this one well. Home run 1-8, double 9-20, out toward left center. That is a 16. That's going to be a 2-base hit for Bonilla. Center fielder. That's McRae with an arm of 0. Sheffield is being held, so his running is a 1-12 with an arm of 0. And they're going to hold him up with nobody out. No rush here. They're in good position, 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out. And Moise Alou coming up. Alou rounded out to the pitcher his first time up. We'll see how this goes. Trachsel ready. How about a 3-6? Ground ball, third base A. The corners were... Corner be in? Yeah, I kept the corners in earlier, so I think the corners would be in here with nobody on first. No double play to set up, so Third baseman would be in. Third base A indicates batter out, runners hold. Right, so Ori handles it, looks Sheffield back, and fires to Grace for the first out. Runners remaining against Charles Johnson. Johnson 0 for 1 today. About a 110. That is a ballpark homer symbol. Johnson hits this one deep toward right field. It's got a 1 to 6 chance. That is caught at the wall. On the warning track, about a foot short of the wall. Johnson flies out. Is that deep enough? Deep enough? How's that work on ballpark? Yep, that's a fly ball B, so that's actually going to be a sac fly 9 for Johnson. He does the job. Sheffield trots home. Bonilla will stay at second. And Conine will come up with 2 outs. And Bonilla on second. So tied to 1 now. Trachsel with a brief walk around the mound. Johnson almost took that one home. Conine is 0 for 1. And Trachsel's now ready. Takes a deep breath from the stretch. 3-6. And Trachsel gets this guy on strikes. Conine down chasing the curveball. But the Marlins score 1. And it is all tied up 1 apiece. We're back to the top of the order and the top of the 5th for the Cubs. Glanville, McRae, and Grace. There's Doug Glanville, 0 for 2 so far today. Brown ready and delivers 5-9 right-hander. That's a strikeout. Right on the outside corner. Glanville just stood there looking. 1 down. Here's McRae. Ryan 2 for 2 with a run scored so far today. He's seeing Brown well. Brown's going to try to change that with a 2-8. And McRae makes contact out toward left field, but no problem for Alou for the second out. 2 down. Here's Mark Grace, also 2 for 2 today. A double and an RBI included. Brown ready to face the left-hander. 2-9. Another fly out towards Alou. He settles under it and makes the catch. So a 1-2-3 inning for Brown. We'll go to the bottom half. It'll be the bottom of the order. Renteria, Castillo, and Brown himself in the bottom of the 5th for Florida. All tied up. Renteria is 0 for 1. Trachsel ready. How about a 2-7? Flies this one out towards center. Medium deep. McRae under it, and can of corn for the first out. All right, here's Luis Castillo. Walked and stole and got stranded at third on that line drive double play. Back into third. All right, Trachsel ready. 5-2. Castillo is facing the wrong way. Castillo's in the batter box backwards, but he's batting lefty. 5-2 is a grounder towards second. Sandberg, no problem. Over to Grace for the second out. And here's Brown. He's pitching too well to even think about taking him out this early. He's sacrificed his first time up. No official at-bats yet. This time it's a 3-6. Nubs this one on the ground towards short. Sanchez scoops it and fires to Grace to retire the side. So Trachsel does what he's supposed to do with the bottom of the order. Retires them in order. And after 5 complete, we've got an official game, folks. Cubs and Marlins tied at 1. A brief interlude for a sip of water and a breath. Congestion is bad today. All right. Brown back on the mound. He's going to face Sosa, Ori, and Sandberg here in the 6th. Sosa 1 for 2. And that's a 1-10. This is a ballpark single chance. Needs a 6 or less. That's going to be an 8. So no, the right-hander lines this one softly. Renteria, who makes the catch, 1 away. Here's Kevin Ori. 0 for 2, ended 2 innings thus far. He can't end this one, so that's an upgrade no matter what he does. Brown with a 3-4. It's going to be a grounder down to third. Bonilla scoops it and fires to Conine in plenty of time. Or he retired with the second out. And here's Ryan Sandberg, also 0 for 2. Looking for his first hit of the season. 6-3. That's a fly ball out toward the left. It's a next chance for Alou. I rolled a 6. And we got a 4-7-9. So 6-9. Alou is a 2E3. I've got a 6-9. F2. And nothing. So Alou makes the catch. And Brown with another 1-2-3. Florida coming up at the bottom of the 6th with the top of the order. White, Sheffield, Bonilla. There's Devon White, 0 for 2 today. It's going to be a 6-7 against the left-handed batting White today. That's a strikeout. Trachsel doing a good job with that curve today. It's really been fooling hitters. Here comes Sheffield. Sheffield 1 for 1. A run scored and hit by pitchers last time up. Trachsel delivers 2-8. And Gary lays off. He'll be on base for the 3rd time today. He will once again try to get a lead and get in scoring position. 6 or 7 is a good lead. He finally gets a good lead. He's off to the races. A 14 will make him safe. But an 18 will say he's caught stealing. Bonilla batting left. So therefore, this is going to be a caught stealing 2-6. Sheffield is erased. And Bonilla now with 2 outs. He's 1 for 2 on the day with a double and a strikeout. Trachsel delivers 4-8 against the lefty. And Bonilla lays off this one for a walk. Running your way in the 6th. This is actually Trachsel's POW inning, so one more hit or walk or hit batter, and Trachsel will be tired. He's going to face Alou. Lou's 0 for 2 today, 2 ground balls. Trachsel would like to keep it that way. How about a 4-3 against the right-hander? This is a fly ball right field X. Sosa's ranging for it. He's a 2E8. And it's going to be a 2-6. So a 2 on the 2. That's a single. And a 6 on an 8. There's going to be an E2. Is this right? 2E8. And I have a 2-6. Just want to confirm. Single 2. And an E2. That's not good. Single and an error. Batter to third. All runners score. So, Alou with a base hit. Sosa bobbles it. And loses track. Tries to recover. Throws it down the third base line. It's offline. So Alou all the way to third. Bonilla scores with the go-ahead run. And that base hit will count to make Trachsel tired. Seems unfair. Well, that was on Sosa. That run is unearned. But with 2 outs, Alou's down at third, and Charles Johnson's coming up. Trachsel due to hit the next inning. So even though he's fatigued, they're going to leave him in to deal with Johnson and hope he can avoid the dots. Johnson 0 for 1, sacrifice fly on an RBI his last time up. He needs a base hit here. How about a 6-4 against the righty? That's a ballpark single chance. 1-6 is good. It's not. So a soft liner to short to end the inning. Sanchez makes the catch. But the Marlins put up another run and now lead 2-1. And we know Trachsel's going to be done, so we're just going to mark that now. That's how I mark that. Let's get him out of the game. And we will see a pinch hitter here as Brown due to face the bottom of the order. So Trachsel goes 6, gives up 2 runs, only 1 earned. And right now he's on the record for the loss. And 2 runs might be all Kevin Brown needs. We'll take the pitcher hitting card out. Use my arm. Put these in a more reasonable to reach location. And there we go. So it's going to be Cervais, Sanchez, and a pinch hitter. We'll see after Cervais hits who comes out on deck. So Kevin Brown, we're in the 7th now. This is Brown's POW inning. Cervais 1 for 2 on the day. How about a 2-6? He pops this one up on the infield, no problem for Castillo. And that's one down. Brings up Sanchez. He is 0 for 2. They're not going to pinch hit for him just yet. 5-10. 5-10 right-hander. That's a strikeout. Brown blows him away. Second strikeout on the day for Sanchez. And who's going to be the pinch hitter here for Trachsel? Let's see. Brown pretty equally effective against lefties and righties. It doesn't matter, so let's see who our best possible option is. Jose Hernandez is a possibility. Hanson, how about Dunston? Nah. We're going to go Jose Hernandez, folks. Hernandez or Hanson? We're going to go Hanson, actually. We'll do the lefty-righty thing. Hanson purely 95% of his bats against right-handers here in 97. Hanson, a pinch hitter, really good part-time card. 311, averaging 151 at-bats, 8 doubles, 2 triples, 3 homers, 21 ribbies in just 151 at-bats. So that's pretty much on pace for an 80 to 100 RBI season. 429 on base and 450 slugging. So solid hitting season for Hanson in part-time role. He does have normal power, even though he doesn't have a lot of home runs on his card. How about a 6-4 against a lefty? That's a fly ball center field X. White's a 2E5. How about a 1, always trouble, and an 11. That's going to be a double 2, and that's it. So Hanson comes through as a pinch hitter. White can't get there, and Hanson pulls in ahead of the throw with a 2-base hit. So now Doug Glanville, runner in scoring position, representing the tying run. Glanville 0 for 3 on the day, struck out his last time up, and Brown ready to deliver. That's a 1-11 against a right-hander. That's a foul ball behind the plate. Johnson roaming and makes the catch to end the inning. So nothing doing. Hanson will sit down. And we'll need a new pitcher for the Cubs. With right-hander heavy lineup due. We got Conine, Renteria, and the switch hitter Castillo due. So let's see who they're going to go to. It's not going to be Rojas. Is Bottenfield a righty? Bottenfield's a righty with a 2 fatigue, which is pretty perfect for our situation here. Sorry, this was Hanson. He's out. Our relief pitcher will be Bottenfield. He is a 3E0 with a 2 fatigue option. So Bottenfield comes up. He'll face Conine, Renteria, and Castillo. And by the way, he is a #1 hitter. We'll put that pitcher's hitting card back there just for reference, should we get back around to him. And we enjoyed the 7th inning stretch, folks, which just means I took a sip of water. We had a pitching change. Bottenfield finishing his warm-ups. Hope you're enjoying our first game on our YouTube channel here, JC Sports Replays. You'll see a lot of baseball, but we'll try to mix in some other things. You'll also see a variety of baseball games, depending on what I'm feeling at the time. Strat is my longtime go-to, and I enjoy the super advanced game when I'm broadcasting. But I also have some basic projects going. I also have a 1980 payoff pitch project in the works, and a 1954 APBA replay about 100 games in. We also have To Learn Glory Days Boxing. It's a recent Christmas gift. What else? Some Strat hockey. Quite a few games available to us. So, but for now, we're playing Strat Baseball here on JC Sports Replays. My name is Joe, and this has been the 7th inning stretch. If you've availed yourself of a drink, a beverage of choice, and a bathroom break, we will continue. By the way, this is YouTube and not live, so you can pause it and come back if you need to do those things at any time. So Bottenfield on the mound, is done with his warm-ups. He's going to face Conine, Renteria, Castillo. Here's Conine, 0 for 2 on the day. The Marlins holding on to a 2-1 lead and like to extend it here in the bottom of the 7th. That is a 4-6. Bottenfield starts strong. Conine down on strikes. Here's Renteria, 0 for 2. How about a 3-5? And there's a base hit to center field for Renteria. McRae scoops it up and fires it in. We've got a new hold situation here. Renteria on first. He's a pretty good stealer. Working with a +2, so straight up 0. +2 for Bottenfield, 0 for Cervais, a +2 hold rating. They hold him on to make that a 0. So Renteria's got a 17 steal success chance if he can get a good lead. So 2 to 6, 12 is a good lead for Renteria. He's trying. And he's got a 6. So he's got a good lead. Renteria's going. And he's caught stealing, if you can believe it. Cervais with a great throw. And inspired by Charles Johnson. Maybe his competitive fire coming out, but Renteria is out trying to steal second. And that's going to bring Luis Castillo up. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a steal today. Bottenfield deals 2-3. Grounder back to Bottenfield. Tosses it to Grace to end the inning. So Florida can't add. No men left. And Brown returns to the mound for the 8th. He'll be facing 2-3-4, McRae, Grace, and Sosa. McRae, 2 for 3 on the day with a run scored. Brown delivers a 2-7. And McRae was fooled badly on that one. Strike 3. All right, 1 down for Chicago here in the 8th. Mark Grace to the plate. A single, a double, and an RBI, along with a fly out to left field. 2 for 3 on opening day for Grace. Brown delivers to the lefty. 6-9. Ground ball toward Renteria. 1-E19. Let's see how he does. How about a 3-11? 3 on a 1 is a G2. 11 on a 19 is nothing, so Renteria scoops it and fires to Conine to retire Grace. Here's Sosa. 1 for 3. He's only struck out once today, which is pretty good for Sammy. He'd love to launch one here and tie this ball game. You know, Brown's going to try not to give him anything to hit. Brown with the delivery. How about a 4-4 against the right-hander? That's catcher's card X. Don't forget it, folks. It's Charles Johnson back there. It's a 1-E0. Check our handy-dandy chart. Anyway, about an 8-16 on a 1-E0. That's going to be a PO nothing. So I believe that's just a pop-out. Yep. Hits it. Sosa hits it straight up, and Johnson just waits 1 step in front of home plate and makes the catch. Brown with another 1-2-3 inning, and we're through 7.5, heading to the bottom of the 8th. Florida clean to a 2-1 lead. Bottenfield out for his 2nd inning of work, and Brown, due to hit, is going to hit. He's pitching too well. And frankly, he's probably better than anything they got in the bullpen. So if you can get 9 out of Kevin, you're going to do it. Brown, 0 for 1 today with a sac hit. Bottenfield delivers 2-7. Bottenfield handles Brown handily. 1-2-3 at bat. 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes, you're out, my friend. And Brown doesn't mind. He laughs about it and goes back to get ready to do what he does best. Devon White due up with 1 out. 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts on the day for White. He hasn't faced Bottenfield yet. Ken with the pitch. It's a 5-7 against the left-hander. Switch hitter batting left, I should say. That's a fly ball out towards center. No problem for McRae. 2 down. Bottenfield doing his job to keep this one close and give his team a chance. But he's got to deal with Sheffield, who is 1 for 1 on the day with a walk, hit by pitch, and a run scored. The only thing he's done wrong is gotten caught stealing. Well, 2 outs. Bottenfield to deliver to the right-hander Sheffield. That's a 2-10. It's grounder on the ground, as opposed to a grounder in the air, to Sandberg, who scoops it up and flips to Grace. to retire Sheffield for the third out. Outfield does a nice job there. And he'll probably be coming out. We'll do that to signify that he has reached his POW limit, but he has not fatigued. He could go 2 more if he wanted to, or if the manager wanted him to, but I tend not to do that. In any case, coming up as the last chance against Brown here in the 9th, trailing by 1, the Cubs will send Kevin Orie, Ryan Sandberg, and Scott Cervais. After that, if anybody gets on base, we'll probably see a pinch hitter for Sanchez. We might even see a pinch hitter for Cervais. We'll see. Situation dependent. Well, Brown ready to deliver to Orie, who's 0 for 3 on the day. Brown's still looking very strong. A 4-9, and that's a strikeout. How many is that on the day for Brown? 1, 2, not that many. 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7th K of the day. 1 down for the Cubs. They're down to their final 2 outs, and here's Sandberg 0 for 3. How about a 5, 6? Well, that's his 8th strikeout. Brown looking to finish strong. And we may have a pinch hitter for the catcher, Cervais. Let's see who's available. We're going to see Dave Clark pinch hit for Cervais. Right, so Cervais, this is going to be our 2nd sub, therefore a B. There's a pinch hitter, Dave Clark, batting left. Clark, again, a good part-time card here for the Cubs. 301 and 143 at-bats, 8 doubles, 5 homers, 32 RBIs, 386 on base, and a 462 slugging. That's pretty good. See if he can keep this one going against Brown, who struck out the first 2 here in the 9th. Brown takes a deep breath. He's into the windup and the pitch to Clark. 5-10 against the lefty. Never mind. He blew him away. Kevin Brown pumped up, strikes out the side in the 9th to seal it for the Marlins. Florida no need to bat in the 9th, and it is a final score of 2-1. Kevin Brown will take the win. Go to 1-0 on the year here on opening day. Steve Trachsel is going to take the loss, and Florida starts things off the way they want to see if they can repeat their World Series escapades here in 1997. This has been JC Baseball Replays, JC Sports Replays, Today Baseball, bringing you our inaugural video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. And we hope to make several videos a week as time allows. Comments are welcome. And I will see you guys next time.